if I stub my toe, it just hurts. I just run outside and yell. Or go into an open room where nobody's in it. Just yell.
Well, you guys have seen us just tear these apart, which there's no big mystery behind that. You just take bolts apart, take stuff apart until eventually you're down to here. What we have is we have the rear end, which is in gear right now, so you can see the pulley turns back here. We have the steering, which I need to take off before we booger up these gears. And then today our big game plan is to work on the front end, because I want to lower the front end today. Now we're going to lower the rear end too, and I'm going to stretch this, but I want to lower the front end today. That's my big goal today. So yeah. I'll try and build drop spindles and then move the actual place for the cast front end up into the frame some. At least that's my game plan. That might change as we go. So
okay, Dad, aren't you going to drop it like here's where it's going to be and here's what's going to be right now?
Something like that. So
like that high?
I guess the first thing to do is we need to start disassembling stuff again, and we're going to get down to where we got these spindles off. So that's
disassemble.
All right, so we went ahead and took apart all the spindles and the linkages and everything. You see the steering linkage hanging down. Once again, just basic disassembly. We've not made any changes to anything yet. However, with the this is the nice cast iron front end. I like this because it's really heavily made, and I wanted to put this on his. Some of these are box sheet metal tubing, which are fine in strength. They're actually easier to manipulate if you want to cut them and like make drops on them. But I wanted this for him because it's really strong on his. And so what I want to do is move this whole component right here up. And with that being said, this is about 1 3/4 inch drop from the top of this plate, from the engine plate. And so this right here is where the muffler went on the engine, and that's why you see heat spots in it there. And so I want to kind of keep this to where we can reuse that muffler if we want to, even though I plan on putting like a side pipe on it. But I don't want this to be extremely loud for him. So I think I'm just going to whack everything off past the engine plate and take it up to the welding bench and refab it all up and then put it back together. And that's my game plan, I think. But ideally, I would like to drop the axle 2 inches here before I ever make drop spindles. And also, I'm thinking about going ahead and moving the axle forward some, just for dramatic effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and make lines and see where we're gonna cut this off at.
Yes, this thing's heavily made.
So I called an audible, and so let me tell you what I've done here. We're not going to move the axle forward any, but I am moving it up in the frame, and I'm going to show you how I've done that. So this is the section that I cut off the front of the mower, and that's exactly how it was. Nothing's been changed there. This side, yeah, there's a little bit of a difference there now. So I cut up in the frame and moving the whole housing up in. And so what that has done, and I'll get you a better look at this here. So what that has done there is over here, I am 1 inch and almost a half, not quite. And over here, I am about not quite 3/8 of an inch. So time I get done doing this, I'm going to have over 1 inch of drop just in moving this up in the frame, and this will weld back on where it used to be. Now this right here is going to be a little short from the frame, so I have to make a gusset to come up and help support that. But I'm also going to cut up into here and move from this hole up to this hole and get us some more. So I'm hoping to get like 2.5 inches or more of drop just out of this front piece. And at that point in time, I don't know if I will make drop spindles or if I will not have to drop them as much. We'll do some measurement after I get this done. But I'm going to verify, and of course I set it up level, make sure everything was right, and verified everything in place. I actually used a protractor to make sure the angle was correct sitting on the welding bench with the ends of these. So everything is lined up and straight. So I'll buzz this in here in a minute, but I may go ahead and do this side first because this is a pretty sturdy tack on here. I may go ahead and do this side first and then set it up against the frame and see where we are. So yep, so dropping the front section where the pivot for the axle is. Okay, so I've finished moving both sides up in the frame, and then there's another hole that was above that with a nut on the back side. I drilled the nut out, knocked the nut off, and I'm actually using the upper hole, and in doing so I had to cut my window deeper here. Now I'm going to add some support pieces in here once I get this together, and I'm not really worried about the strength of this area because the back side of this is going to be welded into this, so that's where all my strength will be. So this right here is just the axle, and anything out here would just be the front end, and I might end up lopping this off later. I don't know yet. We're just working on the front end right now, and I wanted to leave these tabs in case I wanted to mount something off of them. But the front end is there, and I have come up a good, just moving the axle housing and everything from where it was in the frame, every bit of 2 inches. I wish I would have got a measurement before we took all this apart. That would have been nice, but I didn't do that.
You know what to say, hindsight is 20/20.
Hindsight is 20/20. So I am going to get my welder and I'm going to buzz this on here and get this put back together. And then before I even build drop spindles, we're going to go ahead and put the original spindles back on it and the tires on it and drop it down and just see what it looks like. So I'm going to get the welder and I'm going to buzz that on. Alright, here we go. We're going to lower it and see how low the front end is now without drop spindles. I just put the regular spindles and the tires back on. So there that is. It's definitely got more of a rake to it now for sure. But it definitely needs to come down more. So we are building drop spindles. But I think that's a pretty good start though. Now I gotta weld the inside of the frame still in here. I put a weld on the outside. Gotta weld the back side of it. We'll have to clean that up. I'm gonna take the actual stuff back out of it and set the frame up where I can stand up and do it. But I think that's pretty cool. And then if we drop the spindles 3 inches, I'd get that down pretty low, and then we can start working on the back end. So that's moving the axle, so that got us a couple. Now we'll move on to spindles. We're gonna build 2 trophies, one for the car show and one for the lawnmowers. So the best lawnmower, and ours won't count. I won't judge mine, right? But everybody else that builds one, we'll judge them, and the winner will get a trophy that we will build, scrap metal trophy or something. Maybe we'll use lawnmower parts. Be all right. Build a trophy out of lawnmower parts. So if you guys haven't yet, you've seen what we've started with now. We've stripped a couple down in just our preliminary. I got a lot to do. But
Dad,
what?
might be able to make it like a couple tires stacked with a little bit of like a transmission stacked up on it.
We'll see. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, go get you an old lawnmower and a wheelbarrow. If you're anywhere close to Southern Ohio, or a little quick trip to Beaver wouldn't hurt you this October, you can come join us with our wheelbarrow hot rods. And like I said, we're using wheelbarrows and lawnmowers, but I guess if you had go-karts or something, you don't even have to have wheelbarrow, just little miniature hot rods. We'll call it that, miniature hot rods. It'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe made out of a bathtub.
Don't know about that, but okay.
Maybe. Small bathtub?
Sure. He's got more ideas than I do.
Maybe. I'm talking about for like the family one.
For a family one, multiple people. Yeah, so anyways, guys,
back in 2 seats. Bathtub.
We'll give you more updates on this one later, but we're going to get through and start dropping stuff and building stuff and cutting stuff, and we'll give you some more updates later. So see you after a bit.
Bye.